hard drive in Australia and slave work. And say that it worked. So I just got it. I will right. Like right there. So okay. I'll say it must be class. Sorry. Since me, my brain. But um, there's you it's like so I've been praying this all. So say I'm free. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, turn your attention to the pitcher's mound for tonight's ceremonial first pitches. Throwing out tonight's first pitches are veterans Kevin Stein, who is also a Medford City Councilor, and Tom Crow. Tom is a Rogue season ticket holder. And as they were throwing, I hear everybody in Hills yelling, "It's Tom's birthday!" So happy birthday, Tom. Dave from Brady. Bring in COA. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight the Medford Rogues are going to be doing a jersey auction to raise money for the Non-Commissioned Officers Association. And the Rogue chapter of the Non-Commissioned Officers Association is here locally to award medallions of service to veterans. As of today, they have presented 1,669 medallions. Each medallion costs them $25 to purchase, and all funds go into a specific escrow account dedicated solely to the purchase of medallions to present to veterans of surviving family members to honor their service and to be a teaching tool for the younger generation about service and sacrifice. Freedom is not free, and these medallions are a way to thank each veteran and their families for their service. As I said, the Medford Rogues are donating the proceeds from tonight's jersey auction to support this cause, which will allow the NCOA to present approximately an additional 200 medallions to military veterans and their families and properly recognize their service to our country. Tonight, we are going to present medallions to the group you see on the field near home plate. Please give a warm welcome to these individuals and thank them for allowing our freedom. Medallion goes to Bill Doty, who served in the U.S. Navy. He was in Vietnam. The second medallion goes to Cindy Doty, who is in the Army Reserve and served during the Cold War. Next medallion goes to Gabriel Hernandez, who served in the U.S. Air Force and also served during the Cold War. Next medallion to Mike Davis from the United States Army. He served during the Cold War. Next medallion goes to Kevin Stein, who has served in the U.S. Navy Reserve and the Gulf War. Next medallion is to Elizabeth Pennington, who served in the U.S. Army, also during the Gulf War. Next medallion goes to Jerry Iskra, who served in the United States Navy during the Vietnam War. Next medallion goes to Charles Crow Jr., who served in the U.S. Air Force in Vietnam, the Cold War, and the Gulf War. And our final medallion this evening being presented to David DeMoria, U.S. Army, who served during Vietnam. Ladies and gentlemen, these are just some of the people that we owe our debt of gratitude for our freedom. I just double check and see. Well, And it's tonight's umpires presented by Sky High Smoke Shop and Accessories, and they are assigned by the Rogue Valley Umpires Association. At home plate, Joel Woodley. At first base, Tim Barrett. And at third base, Andrew Herbold. When the Rogues light it up on the field, Sky High Smoke Shop keeps it lit off the field. From Fireflies to next level smoke gear, they've got with the big leaguer spray. Local, wild, unapologetic. Sky High Smoke Shop, Medford's home for high standards. Let's go, Rogues. And now, fans, it's time to welcome your Medford Rogues starting lineup. As announced by first-year Rogues head coach Kevin Olmstead. Tonight's starting lineup is presented by Rachel White, your local real estate professional with eXp Realty. Leading off for the Rogues at third base from Delta College, number 17, Sammy Rivas. Batting second at shortstop from UC Santa Barbara, number 26, Ryan Severs. Batting third in right field, uncommitted for school, number 35, Johnny Alley. Batting fourth at first base in the transfer portal, number 48, Garrett Bardo. The center fielder from Washington State University, number 31, Mason Perello. Batting sixth, the designated hitter from UC Santa Barbara, number 27, Jordan Marion. Batting seventh, the catcher from Grants Pass and the University of Portland, number 29, Troy Osborne. Batting eighth in left field from Washington State University, number 6, Trevor Smith. And batting ninth at second base from Yakima Valley College, number 21, Travis Binney. And your starting pitcher tonight for the Rogues, he is in the transfer portal, number 49, Caleb Malloy. And remove your caps and join us for the national anthem presented by Rockwell Real Estate. Presenting the colors tonight is the Honor Guard from the Oregon Army National Guard. And now the anthem will be performed by the Crater High Band. Ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you please remain standing and at attention until the color guard has cleared the field. Thank you all very much. All right, the game can't get started without the best two words in baseball. Jake, who do you have down on the field?
All right, we've got Adley, Alyssa, Addison, Parker, Embry, and Lucas with the two most important words in baseball.
Good evening, A's fans. It's play-by-play announcer Jarrett Smith bringing you game 2 of 3 games up here in Medford, Oregon against the Medford Rogues. Last night did not go the A's way. Started out good, but ended up getting bit late in the 8th inning by the Rogues. Ethan Wood started things off with a home run in the 2nd inning, and they were able to come across with another run, courtesy of Aiden Perry's RBI single out to right. But then weren't able to get really much going until the Rogues got one in the 6th, responded with one in the 7th, did the A's to extend the lead to 2 again. But then the Rogues tied it up in the 7th, and ultimately the game-winning run in the 8th inning. A's gave it a good roll last night, but not able to get it done. Theme of their loss, I'd have to say, was most likely runners left on base and hitting into double plays. Rogues able to turn 3 double plays in yesterday's game. Even warmer out here tonight, too. It is in the mid-80s for game time. Winds not as strong, too, so we'll see if those balls will be flying a little bit further here today. And let's get you through that A's lineup. Leading off is Tyson Miller in center field. He had 3 hits in yesterday's game. Batting second, George Smith, 2 hits for him. Third, Mikey Ramirez. He was in right field, now will be in left today. Cleanup hitter Ethan Wood, just mentioned, solo shot for him on 4th of July. Batting 5th, Luke Reed, his first game of this series. He's in right field. 6th, Isaac Fernandez, same for him, first start of the series, and he's behind the dish instead of Hayes Edens. 7th is Scott Mitchell. He was in left. Now he's just going to DH. And Ryan Sanders at third base, and Aiden Perry rounds it out at the bottom of the lineup again at second base. And, well, no more waiting. Tyson Miller, there he is, digging into the box. We're ready to go. It's going to be Miller v. Malloy to start out things in the top of the first. Pitch number 1 is right down
First pitch is at
the pipe, strike 1.
88 degrees at Arian Davis Field.
Looked down the pipe from up here, and then the umpire's call was a bit slow. so had to wait to see what the call was. That was definitive, though. Miller swung through that one. Quick 0-2 hole for him. Right up the middle, Tyson Miller does it again. That is another single for him and leading things off in this game. 4 hits in the series already for the young man. Talking about the A's last night, 7 out of 9 innings, they were able to get a leadoff base runner on, and yet only 3 runs to show for it. There was a lot of good for the A's last night with getting base runners on and with the great starting pitching of Cooper King, but not capitalizing on some opportunities ended up costing them the win. Malloy checked on Miller over at first. He was safe now. Coming home for the first pitch to George Smith. It's a soft little grounder. It's followed by the first baseman. He's going to have to go for first and barely gets the tag on George Smith as he slid in head first.
Now batting left
so that'll be a
fielder,
G3 ground out to first for George Smith, but he does move Miller over to second. So with 1 out, Mikey Ramirez looking to cash in Miller. Ramirez digging in and taking a look at his day yesterday. He did have a single, 1 for 4 on the day. First pitch is in for a strike. I'm going to have to hold off here a little bit. Like I mentioned in that first batter with Tyson Miller, that umpire takes his sweet time with making the strike call. Lloyd taking a peek over at second, comes home. This one's fouled out of play. Ramirez, the top hitter on the team, courtesy of the batting average statistic. Going into yesterday's game, batting .447 on the year. .02 is way upstairs and in. Ramirez had to turn away from that one to make sure he didn't get plunked in the helmet. So 1-2 here. Malloy getting set. We'll keep an eye on Miller at second to see if he wants to take off for third. Not yet, at least. This one's hit to the third baseman. Fields it cleanly. Looks Miller over back to second. Throw on to first in time for out number 2. So after leadoff base hit and 2 ground outs, it's going to bring up the cleanup hitter, Ethan Wood. Interesting night for him. You'd think in a night where you homered, you'd be pretty happy. And I'm sure he is happy about that. But after the home run, it was 3 consecutive strikeouts at the plate. So looking to cut down on those strikeouts and put some more balls in play here. First pitch to him. He does put it in play, but it is foul. 0-1. Luke Ree on deck, hoping for his first at-bat of the series in this inning to try and cash in some early runs against the Rogues. A's did strike first yesterday and would like to do so today. Swing and a miss there from Wood on the outside, 0-2. Anything on the infield could prove to be tricky, though. We've seen a lot of weird bounces just last night and even in warm-ups today. I had the chance to go down on the field and catch returning balls for the coaches that were hitting ground balls. And let me tell you, there is some interesting hops available in that infield grass. 1-2 pitch is to Wood and it's popped sky high in the infield. We have 2 infielders that are thinking about getting it. It ends up being the shortstop, and that is out number 3. Leadoff single for the A's doesn't prove to come in for anything as the next three batters get out, and it's going to be Zach Geis and the A's to work on defense. Bottom of the first, Sammy Rivas leading things off for the Rogues. He was at the bottom of the lineup for the Rogues yesterday, now elevated to the top. Second game with the team out of Delta College, back down in the Valley of California. First pitch from Zach Geis is a strike. Taking a look at Geis's year on the mound for the A's, 24 and 2/3 innings pitched. This is his fourth start on the season, 8 appearances total, as that one is swung on and missed for an 0-2 hole to Rivas. Credited with 1 win, 1 loss on the year, 27 strikeouts to 10 walks. Solid ratio for him on that, and a 3.28 ERA. Oh, 2 pitch, swung on and missed for strikeout number 1, out number 1 against the Rogues. Great start for Geis and the A's, filling up the K's already early on. They had a lot of them yesterday, 12 strikeouts for Cooper King in his starts. Geis will now take on Severns, and taking a look at his last start, 6 innings of work. As this one's hit pretty dang well out to left field. It has Ramirez on the move. It's out of here. Medford leaves the ballpark and gives the Rogues an early lead. I was curious to see if that ball would be flying with warm weather and not minimal wind, and we see it already in the first inning. Ethan Wood left the ballpark yesterday. Severns today, both solo shots, and the Rogues already up 1-0. So after a solo tank shot for Severns, it's going to be Alley, the right fielder. Geis looking to get resettled. Wanted to get into his last start. It was 6 innings of work, 3 hits, no runs, 7 Ks to 1 walk. So he's been good with the strikeouts to walks on the season. In a little bit of trouble here early against Alley, though, 2-0. Infielders mostly playing deep here for the A's, except Sanders. He's a bit closer to the grass over at third base. He's on the move over to foul ground, but won't have a chance to play that one. It's out of play.
Hey.
2-1 pitch, chopped foul this time down the right field area. Late on the last one, early on this one. Alley looking to square it up and put it in play. Long pause there for Geis on the mound. Now comes set. Count evens up 2-2. Looking for that punch out pitch. Doesn't get the swing on that one, and count will go full. Alley yesterday 0 for 3 at the plate. Did have an RBI, though, and struck out twice. Geis's payoff pitch is ripped pretty well down the right field, and it is a base hit. It goes past Luke Ree. Off the wall, he's heading for 2. Throw coming into Perry. It's over his head into second base, but not in time. So Alley follows up that solo shot with a hit of himself. Double down to the right field wall. And are cooking early at the plate. First baseman Bardo now due up. He was not a participant in yesterday's game. However, looking at his stats on the year, batting .327, on base is at .450 through 28 games. Good stuff for him. First pitch, outside, 1-0. Strike call, 0-1. Runner on the move, aggressive, and the throw down from Fernandez. Sanders has to go off the bag to make sure that doesn't go out in the left field. So that is a stolen base for Alley. Count evens up 1-1 after that last pitch. Geis comes set. 1-1 is outside, 2-1. Curious to see how the A's are going to be playing this. Looks like their infielders are playing pretty darn deep on this one. Sanders not bothering to cover over at third, and Ethan Woods kind of medium to long length in that dirt, not looking to cut down the runner at home. This one is sent out to right field. It is going to be caught from Luke Reed, but should bring in the run. Yes, it will. That is 2-0 Rogues on the sac fly from Bardo.
Now batting the center fielder from Washington State University, Mason Morello.
So A's and Rogues, traded out for a run, 2-0 Rogues early in this ball game. Bases are now cleared, and Perello, the center fielder, digging in for his first at bat. Takes this pitch outside, 1-0. Perello came in to pinch hit for the leadoff hitter Horsley yesterday and was 0 for 1 at the plate. Did end up walking, though. Takes that one in for a strike. Geis's 1-1 is hit out to right field. Hangs up enough for Reed. That ball sure looks like it is flying in the air tonight and not dipping. So we'll see if that ends up leading to balls over the outfielders' heads. But for now, 2-0 early on here for the Rogues after a solo shot from Severals and a sac fly from Bardos scoring Alley. The A's come up in the top of the second, looking to bounce back.
Get to the score, get yours, and be part of the out.
Luke Reed digs in, leading things off here for the A's in the top of the second. Was not a participant in yesterday's game, but gets the start in right today. Lays down a bunt, first pitch, throw on the move for the third baseman. Great smooth play there for Rivas to get out number one.
Now batting catcher Isaac Fernandez.
So quick one pitch, one out here for the A's on offense. Isaac Fernandez, the catcher, digging in for his first time this series. Hayes Edens was the batter yesterday for the catcher. First pitch is swung on and missed on the inside. Malloy having his second start on the mound, fourth appearance of the year, 3.68 ERA on 14 strikeouts to 2 walks. Impressive numbers here early on. Fernandez in a 0-2 hole after that one gets fouled back to the screen. 0-2 from Malloy, sent out to center field, and no movement required to trap that one for out number 2.
Now batting the K batter, designated hitter Scott Mitchell.
Ground out to third and fly out to center means 2 outs for the A's. Scott Mitchell, the DH, comes up looking to start perhaps a 2-out rally. He was the left fielder in yesterday's game, now just focused on hitting in today's game. Bit of a tough night for Mitchell at the plate last night as this one's chopped to third base. It is fair. Throw is going to sail over the first baseman's head. Mitchell's on his way for 2, and he is going to have 2. So that is an E5 there from Rivas that leads to Mitchell getting to second base, and there is that potential 2-out rally sparked by Mitchell. So 2 innings and 2 runners on scoring positions, or in scoring position already for the A's. That was a sore subject for them last night. Left 8 runners on base and batted 2 for 14 with runners on base. Batter now is Brian Sanders. First pitch was a strike. Second pitch is a strike as he chases that one. Quick 0-2 hold to him. Been a bit of a tough season for Sanders at the plate. Lots of strikeouts throughout this season. But when he does get that ball in play, it has been a lot of extra base hits, but not this time. Watches that one to the outside. He's rung up, and that ends the inning. Already, runners left on base for the A's, and both of them in scoring position. They're still down 2-0. Rogues looking to extend the lead. Bottom of the second at bats for the Rogues. Already up 2-0. Looking to extend with Marion, the DH, leading things off. He was lower in the lineup yesterday, batting 8th, and he was in the field as opposed to being DH today. He was at the hot corner, had himself a base hit, and also walked twice. First pitch to him is a ball, 1-0. That one called a strike on the outside part of the plate, even it up to count 1-1. Guys looking to string together some scoreless innings after the 2 runs in the first, and tries to paint outside there. He does. Gets the late call, 1-2. Well, with the lefty at the plate, the left side playing a bit, or excuse me, right side playing a bit deeper. Sanders moved up a little bit at the hot corner for any opposite field hits. That won't be one, as that one's way outside. Wind is picking up a little bit here at the ballpark. Was pretty calm at game time, but now blowing against pretty much any balls hit here. It's blowing straight out of center. This one's in the dirt. And count fills up 3-2. Guys coming set with a full count, looking for that payoff pitch. It's on the way. It's outside. Ball 4. Leadoff base runner here for the Rogues. You see up a free pass from Guy Sperry to first base, his 3rd walk this series. And Troy Osborne, the catcher, comes up looking to move Marion around those bases. A couple people running in from the A's bullpen. Look to be Mason Medina, Ryan Weller. We won't see Weller tonight since he pitched last night. See if we see Medina later in this game. First pitch on the way upstairs, 1-0. Osborne yesterday, tough start to the game with a couple of strikeouts, but ended up coming up big later in the game with an two-out RBI double that cashed in Ortiz. That one taken for a strike, count evens up 1-1. Geis is 1-1 outside, 2-1. Smith on deck. Finney is batting cleanup. Both players were not a part of yesterday's game, so we'll see what their first impact on this series will be after Osborne's at bat concludes. He takes strike 2 there. Count evens up 2-2. Ground ball double play would be ideal for the A's here to settle things down. See if Geis looks to locate low in the zone. He does, but too low and too far outside, and count runs full.
Sure. The first one, the first one, but you're here.
Full count payoff pitch, chop to Sanders, could be 2, rolls it over to second base. Perry on the way to first, not in time. So that is going to be fielder's choice. Osborne will settle in at first and Mary out at second. So still a runner at first, but now Osborne instead of Marion, 1 down for the A's. Still double play possibility. They got the 5-4, but not the 3 to get 2 outs on that board. First pitch swung on and missed emphatically by Smith for strike 1. As mentioned, Smith not a part of yesterday's action on 4th of July, but taking a peek at his stats as that one is ruled a ball, 1-1. Smith has played in 5 games for 14 at-bats total and has only gotten, it appears, to be 1 hit so far in those 14 at-bats. So struggling so far, but still very early on in his season. That was a ball up high, 2-1. Guys looking to settle in and pump in some more strikes. That's not going to do it there. Upstairs, 3-1. Good hitters count here for Smith to take advantage of. Yeah. Interesting dynamics out there in the outfield, too, now that I'm taking a peek at that. That dirt that goes around the outside of the field as this one's fouled back out of play. It's a little bit out of sight here on our screen, so let's try and get you a little peek at it. I was going to say the interesting dynamic here. We'll wait for Geis's pitch.
Yeah, like that. Yeah.
All right, he's going to throw over to first, and Osborne able to get in there safely, but a quick peek over there. Never mind, over there. You can see that dirt coming in and crosses the foul line into fair play, and that could be interesting for some bounces on some fly balls out in the outfield. This one skied along the fence. Sanders made a close play trying to snatch that one out of foul ground, but couldn't get it done, and we'll try it again, 3-2. Anyways, as mentioned, the infield presents some interesting opportunities with balls that'll bounce strange ways, and also with that dirt crossing the foul line, there's going to be that grass edge and cut that could cause it to bounce some interesting ways on a fly ball dropping in. 3-2. Still it remains. Guys looking for that punch out of Smith. It is grounded up the middle. Perry flips it over to Smith. Throw on the first in time for a double play. 4-6-3 double play. The first by the A's of this series, and they get out of that one, allowing no runs. So still 2-0, top of the third. They're looking to score in this one. (9-1-2) hitters due up for the A's. Aiden Perry starting things out in this top of the third on a military appreciation night at the ballpark. That was a nice ceremony pregame. You might have been able to see it in the infield. Not so sure about the audio, but former military honored for their service in pregame with medals, some from Vietnam, some during the Cold War, and some in the Gulf War. Perry's in a quick 0-2 hole here against Malloy.
Yeah.
Takes that one for a ball, 1-2. Perry contributed yesterday with his RBI single out to right field that cashed in the second run for the A's of the second inning. Also was able to work a walk. He keeps his at bat alive here with a foul ball into the screen. 1-2. It is a ball. That certainly looked like that could have been a punch out, but umpire lets it go even, 2-2. So Malloy will try again with 2-2, misses up and out. Perry has worked it from 0-2 to 3-2. It's one thing we've seen from him this year. If he hasn't been hitting, it's been walks, and this one's ripped to the first baseman, fielded cleanly, took a little skid on him, but still able to touch up first base for out number 1.
Now batting center fielder Tyson Miller.
With one out, Tyson Miller comes up for his second at-bat, rotates to the top of the lineup. He led off the A's and this entire game, for that matter, with his not RBI, excuse me, but just with a leadoff single in the first inning. Ended up getting to second, but A's unable to catch him in. First pitch here to him is a ball, 1-0. Miller's done a great job in that leadoff role this year, getting a lot of hits for the A's and not striking out. So in general, able to put that ball in play. Malloy came back with a strike there, 1-1. And that's going to be a ball. Reckon I got to stop trying to call balls and strikes from up in the booth, but that certainly looked pretty good. But to Miller's benefit, count goes 2-1, and it is 2-2. Okay. Those look to be the same pitches, back-to-back pitches. One called a ball, one called a strike. But either way, 2-2 to Miller. Swung on and missed. Strike out. Second strikeout for Malloy and only fourth strikeout of Miller's season. Very impressive strikeout numbers coming into this game with only 2 in this series. But now he has matched his season total coming into this series with 1 yesterday, 1 today, 2 total in this series. Now with 2 outs, it's George Smith, the shortstop, grounded out to first base his first at-bat. That one's strange enough, thrown away from the pitcher to the second baseman, but no harm done for the Rogues as nobody's on base. Talking about another guy that gets on base a lot, that is George Smith. Lots of hits and lots of walks and lots of steals. Leads the team in walks, stolen bases, and runs. This one's hit pretty well to center field. It gets him on the run, but he's able to track it in with that wind slope swirling for out number 3. A's go down 2-3 in this inning and still find themselves down 2-0. Rogues coming up with their at-bats, looking to extend the lead.
This right here.
Just like the A's in the top of the third, the Rogues in the bottom of the third will bat 9-1-2. And Finney, the second baseman, starts out with a ball from Geis. Finney, another player that we did not see in yesterday's ball game, but taking a peek at his stats as Geis throws. This one is chopped through. No, George Smith able to get it, but there's no throw to be made. That is an infield single for Finney. So one of those balls that were pretty hard to field, and George Smith made a long run, good stab at it, but just no way he was going to make the throw in time. Leadoff single for the Rogues. Back-to-back innings with a base runner for them. And that brings up the top of the lineup, Rivas, who struck out to lead things off for the Rogues, fouls this one towards his teammates, 0-1. Rivas was a top player for the Rogues in last night's game, 2 for 3 at the plate, did score a run. Runs were hard to come by last night, 4 for the Rogues and 3 for the A's. Rivas finds himself in the 0-2 hole, here early against Geis. This one is a foul ball, just barely tipped the bat. Finney was on the move looking for a stolen base to second. So short delay there. Here comes Rivas back into the box. 0-2 count still. It remains. We'll see if Finney has any ideas of stealing second after trying on that last pitch. And over there doesn't go, and that pitch is upstairs for ball 1. One, two from Geis. It is a ball. Looked to be just outside. Counts now even 2-2. Taking a look around the ballpark. Certainly less people at the ballpark last night. Was officially a sellout for 4th of July, which is awesome to see. Still a decent crowd out tonight for a beautiful evening of baseball here at Harry and David Field. And look at that. Finney tried to go on the move again, and it is fouled again. So he'll head back to first base. Count still remains 2-2, still no out with Finney's leadoff single.
I like that one.
2-2 is chopped, and Sanders is going to have to go to first with this one and does get the guaranteed out. Unable to turn 2 on that one, especially with his momentum going away from second base. Makes the split decision. Out to third base. Finney able to move to second, so with 1 out, the Rogues do have a runner in scoring position. And here is Mr. Home Run himself tonight. Severns digging in for his second at-bat. Hit a solo shot as the second batter for the Rogues this evening off of Geis to left field just below the scoreboard. This pitch in the dirt. Good block from Fernandez to keep Finney at bay. Severns 1 for 5 in yesterday's outing, did have an RBI. Already has an RBI courtesy of himself, and this time he goes opposite field. It sends Ree on the move. Unable to get it, he crashes into the wall and slides. It's in the corner, able to get up and throw it in. Here comes the runner, but Perry's going to go for third. It sails over Sanders' head, and Severns is unable to take advantage and try and go home, but he looks hurt. That's an RBI triple for him. Finney is in, and it looks like Luke Ree's okay as he crashed into the fence, but Severns, on the other hand, might have done something to his hand when he was sliding in. So we'll take a quick pause here. Allie is already ready to go. He's in the box, but they are checking for Severns. Of course, our priority is to make sure and worry about whether he's okay or not. But if he is good to continue, he is on pace for perhaps a heck of a night for himself. He's already got the two hardest parts of the cycle done. He has a home run and he has a triple right now. So a double and a single, we'll see him hit for the cycle.
Fielder Tony.
All right, so it looks like Severns is going to stay into this ballgame. Just now puts his helmet on. It's good to see. Alley digs in for his second at bat, looking to cash in Severns now after that RBI triple. This one sent out to center field. It could be a sac fly. We'll see. And Miller throws it in on the crow hop. It's not going to be in time. That is another run for the Rogues as Alley hits a sacrifice fly to center. 4-0 Rogues. Another trade-off for the Athletics and out for a run. And at this point, Athletics don't want to make that deal as they're already down 4 early in this ball game. So after back-to-back RBIs, Bardo, the first baseman, watches the first pitch for a ball. He had a sacrifice fly of his own, but to right field in the first inning. This one's chopped to Sanders, knocks it down with the glove, still has time to throw it. Ethan Wood not able to pick it, took a short hop on him, and that's going to be a base, perhaps not a base hit, probably an E5 there on Sanders.
Now,
so inning continues after that error from Sanders. It is going to be the sixth batter of the inning. Perello, the center fielder, flew out to right field to end the first inning. First pitch from Geis, tried to break in a curveball that didn't have too much break on it, misses up and in. One 0 from Geis is chopped at. It's going to be in foul ground. So count now even 1-1 for Perello. Looking to extend this inning after Bardo's reached on an error. He's dancing around big time over there at first base, but doesn't go anywhere. That pitch gets in there for a strike 1-2. Guy struck out the first batter that he faced this game, but has not recorded a strikeout since. Would certainly like to do so now to end this inning. And he does. Right on cue, strikeout, and Hernandez tags him for good measure to make sure all is good. So that'll end the bottom of the third. Rogues able to put up another 2 runs on the A's. A's down 4-0, looking to try and claw back in the top of the fourth. Top of the fourth, A's up with Mikey Ramirez. That's going to be 3, 4, 5 batters for them. Ramirez takes first pitch for a strike. Looking to be another leadoff runner here for the A's in this series, in this game, and hopefully start cashing them in. They are down a sizable lead here early in this one, 4-0. Took the Rogues 8 innings to score 4 and only 3 innings today. And Ramirez watches another pitch for a ball. It's 2-1 to him now. First inning grounded out to third base. Then yesterday's game, 1 for 4 with a single. 2-1 pitch is chopped, ripped by the third baseman. There's the leadoff single. He's thinking about 2, but will settle in at first.
Now batting first baseman, Ethan Wood.
That's what the A's need, some leadoff base runners, but they have not been able to cash him in for some runs. Hoping to change that is Ethan Wood. He popped out to short to end the action in the first inning. And swings and misses at a pitch outside, 0-1. Wood, of course, left the building yesterday, but struck out a few times after that. He is always a threat to get that ball deep in the ballpark. This one, though, might be caught in foul ground. It's sending the third baseman all over the place. That was a heck of a route to take to that one, but in the end, it drops harmlessly for a foul ball. But Ethan Wood down 0-2 in his at-bat. So just looking to work the count or get the ball in play at this point. We have seen Ramirez steal a lot of bases. We'll see if he goes for that here. As a matter of fact, 20 stolen bases on the year for him, but it won't be there as Ethan Wood gets punched out for out number 1.
Now batting right fielder, Luke Reed.
Luke Reed looking to move his college teammate Mikey Ramirez around the bases, 0-1 so far, ground out to third himself. That was leading off the second inning, and there is Mikey Ramirez with his 21st stolen base on the year, and he gets a delayed jump on it, but he's going to go for 3. So, call on the pitch was a strike there to Luke Reed. 0-1 will be the count to him, but Ramirez steals second base and moves to third on an E2 errant throw by the catcher. And now the A's have a runner on third base for the first time in this game. Their third base runner in scoring position, and it drops in for a base hit. There's run number 1 for the A's. Mikey Ramirez cashed in thanks to his teammate Luke Reed's RBI single. 4-1 it is now for the Rogues against the A's. So still only 1 out. Reed now the base runner at first. First pitch to Isaac Fernandez, up and in, 1-0. Fernandez flew out to center field his first time up. A's only had 1 hit through 3 innings, now have 2 in this inning alone. Luke Reed was thinking about stealing, and he's going to have to go back to first as that ball goes into the right field grass area. So perhaps good signs for the A's here, able to get a hit with runner in scoring position, cash in their first run, but still a lot of work for them to do. Down 3. Pitch inside yet again to Fernandez, 2-1. Swing and a miss. Fernandez was behind that one, and count evens up to and 2. Been alluding to the wind a lot, and we'll check in with that again. It is been a bit more of a constant breeze now, but the wind direction's kind of variable. It's been swirling around, so we'll see if that plays tricks on the outfielders here. Center field playing a little bit more towards left field. This one's chopped on the ground. Good pick there from the third baseman. Throws on to second or first in time for out number 2. Ree able to move to second on the play.
Now batting the K batter, designated hitter Scott Mitchell.
That's a lot of action early on here in the ball game for the third baseman. That is 4 plays that he's seen go his way and successfully thrown over to first on 3 of them, but an errant throw in the second inning is one of the 2 errors that the Rogues have made already. This one is a blooper into right field, but doesn't bloop enough. Catch is made for out number 3, so Mitchell unable to cash in. Ree from second base flies out to right. That'll end the inning. A's able to get 1 run on 2 hits in that inning thanks to a Ramirez leadoff single and a Luke Ree RBI single. And they still have work to do, just looking to get that run back and perhaps some more in the bottom half of this inning. Bottom of the 4th, Rogues looking to grab back the 1 run they gave up in that inning to the A's, and it's going to lead off with Marion in this inning. Batted 8th in the lineup yesterday, now 6th today. His first at-bat was a walk. This one is a ground out to Perry as that throws in time for out number 1. Quick 1 pitch, 1 out there. A's will take that, so will Geis. And now it is going to be Geis versus Osborne. Osborne grounded into a fielder's choice his first time up, and first pitch to him, called strike. Pitch low and outside, perhaps off speed. It is 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. And the infielders playing deep on the grass. Tyson Miller favoring left field just a little bit with the right-hander at the plate. 1-1 is a ball, 2-1. Luke Ree actually playing perhaps a little bit closer to the foul line than I would expect. There's a big gap there to be exploited in right center field for Osborne. 2-1 pitch taken outside and low again, 3-1.
Well, the program thing started. So it was like a free meeting.
Geis bounces this one in the dirt 4. Ball 4. Osborne will take his free base. Second walk of Geis's. So now Trevor Smith will look to move Osborne around the base paths. He did have Osborne on the base paths his last time up, but wiped both of them off the field, with a 4-6-3 double play to end the second inning of action. Geis's first pitch to Smith this time is chopped on home plate. It's going to be foul, though. Gotta tell you, it feels a little bit strange having 4th of July yesterday as the series opener. It was great vibes, fantastic time at the ballpark. Fireworks display was awesome. And that was a heck of a way to start it. And it's just like, how are we going to capture the energy a little bit for today and tomorrow? But, it is still 4th of July weekend. So enjoy your time wherever you may go. Enjoy watching this game. I certainly will enjoy calling these games and the baseball. Osborne able to steal second base there. Fernandez did not throw down. Last pitch there was called a strike, 1-2. Now the count to Smith. No threat of the double play ball, though, now that Osborne was able to steal 2. This one hit out to left field. It's going to hang up for Mikey Ramirez. He's got it. Osborne unable to tag up and go for 3. So 2 down, runners still on second base.
Now Benny, trumpet, Benny.
9-hole hitter Finney, the second baseman, coming up. Interesting coincidence there. Both the second basemen for the teams are at the bottom of the lineup. Finney's first time up in this game was in the 3rd inning. Able to get a single and scored the Rogues' 3rd run of the ball game. First pitch called a strike. Guys, long pause, set. Couple looks over at second, and that one hits the bill, I do believe, of the helmet. Finney's going to take his free base. That looked to be perhaps a slider that slipped out of the hand, and Geis unable to snap it. So that was interesting, and interestingly enough, it's the second Rogues batter that has been hit in the helmet by an ace pitcher, as Weller hit somebody in the helmet last night. So now it's Osborne at second, Finney at first, and Rogues looking to cash in with 2 outs. Geis overthrows that one. Fernandez able to get that one to keep the base runners at first and second. Geis's 1-0 fouled to the backstop. Still a big gap there in right center field. It could end up being 2 runs for the Rogues if somebody could find that gap with their bat. 1-1. It remains Geis in his stretch. On the way, there's a double steal on. This is chopped to Sanders, and it boots it off of his plate. Double deflection. My goodness. The third baseman ends up all the way from the infield dirt to the first base half in between home plate and first base. That took not one hop, but 2 hops off of Sanders. And now bases on and loaded for the Brewers. That ends up being a hit there for Rivas, as that was a tough bounce for Sanders. First pitch into the new batter, Severns, is called strike. We highlighted him earlier in this game. Solo shot and also an RBI triple. Sees in strike 2. 0-2 hole here. So Rogues haven't scored any yet, but they're on the precipice of opening this game wide open. Bases juiced, but thankfully for the A's, 2 outs as that one's fouled into the screen. Guys looking for that punch-out pitch, and instead it's a hit by pitch. That's going to be a run for the Rogues. So Severn's unable to try and continue his quest for a cycle there as he's hit by a pitch, but he will get another run in. That is Osborne that comes in to score for the Rogues. Finney now goes to third. Rivas at second, and of course Severns at first after being hit by a pitch. So 5-1 is now the score for the Rogues. Coach Ethan Winter coming out to chat with Zach Geis. I'll take a quick pause. Well, after that brief pause, Geis is working with the new batter, Alley, right fielder. First pitch fouled 0-1. So just had to do a quick check with the scorers on whether a hit by pitch is an RBI. It most certainly is. So Severns with 3 at-bats and 3 RBIs in this game. Heck of a game for him already, and it's only 4 innings. Geis misses way outside with that 1-1. Alley has an RBI of his own, sacrifice fly last inning, cashing in Severns. And he also doubled in the first inning, scoring along with a stolen base. This one's chopped to George Smith. He fields it cleanly with the glove throw on to first. That's in time for out number 3. A's able to limit the damage to just 1 as that guy hits Severns, and that runs in, or that brings in Osborne. But they do leave the bases loaded. Was able to grab 1 run back. They're up by 4 yet again. It's 5-1. A's looking to bounce back in the top of the 5th. Brian Sanders leads off the top of the 5th for the A's here, looking to get some good vibes, good momentum going as this one's chopped by Rivas for a base hit. That is going to be a leadoff single for Sanders. Back-to-back innings with the leadoff single for the A's. And step one of coming back with a 4-run deficit is most certainly got to be that. Sanders and the A's will take it. Aiden Perry digs in for at-bat number 2 of the day, grounded out to first in his first at-bat. Pitch 1 to Perry. He gets the call, 0-1. Malloy still out on the mound for the Rogues, looking for his 5th inning of work. It's been 4 hits allowed so far, as he checks on Sanders at first, not in time. 1 earned run so far, 3 strikeouts, no walks. Comes home to Perry with 0-1. It's going to be 1-1. On to Perry. Gets the call on the outside, 1-2. Rogues are stiff competition for the A's. As mentioned, they're in the PEL, Pacific Empire League. Teams such as the Humboldt Crabs. Earlier this year, the A's able to play the Crabs as Sanders gets caught in a pickle. Throw is going on and on and on, and that ends up being an out. That is a 1-3-6-3 pickle that ends up in out number 1 of this inning and wipes off the leadoff base runner for the A's. Certainly not what they needed to try and mount a comeback. So now the complexion of Perry's at-bat changes. It's still 1-2, but now no runners to move around, so he's going to try and get on base himself. And this one's lined right into the first baseman's glove. That's Bardo for out number 2.
Now batting center fielder Tyson Miller.
So in the space of 1 at-bat, it goes from no outs to 2 outs, but no, not in a double play like you'd think. It was a pickle and then a line out. Now it's the top of the lineup, Tyson Miller. Single in the first, struck out in the third. First pitch fouled out of play. Swing and a miss on the second pitch. Quick 0-2 hole for Miller. Looked like Malloy slowed it down there, and Miller tried to drag the bat through the zone, but just couldn't slow it down. So 0-2 hole, Malloy looking for punch out number 4 to end things in the 5th. Doesn't get the call there, 1-2. This one hit out into right field. Another base hit for Miller. Looking for 2. No, settles in at first. 5 singles in this series for Miller, seconds of the day. And now George Smith will look to extend a potential 2-out rally here. Potentially could have been more if Sanders did not get tagged out in a pickle, but instead they're working with the runner at first with 2 outs. Smith takes the first pitch inside, had to scoot a little bit away from the pitch, 1-0. 0-2 on the day is Smith, ground out to first and a fly out to right. So both of his hits have been out to the right side of the field. fouled weakly into the screen, 1-1. Interesting observation about the field. I mentioned is how the ballpark dimensions work here. 1-1 to Smith. Miller's on the way. There's going to be no throw. Looked like the catcher bobbled it. And the speedster Miller has a stolen base. So a chance to get one back here for the A's as Miller's in scoring position. That is the fifth batter in scoring position for the A's, only able to get one in thus far. And George Smith swing and a miss makes it 2-2. Lloyd comes set, looking for strikeout number 4, takes a peek at Miller, now does it again, comes home to Smith. It's chopped weakly to the left side, takes a weird hop over the shortstop and the third baseman. There's that infield I was talking to you about that I saw in pregame. There's some weird hops in that infield, and it hurt the Rogues there. And that is runners on first and third now for the A's. So base hit for Smith, his first one on the day, back-to-back hits. 3 hits in this inning, as a matter of fact, for the A's through only 4 batters, but still nobody has scored and 2 down in this inning. Mikey Ramirez, though, had a hit last inning, looking to do it again and cash in Miller from third, but first pitch is swung on, foul tip into the glove, 0-1. Check on Smith over at first. That is wise, speaking from experience. I've seen George Smith swipe bags all season for the A's, but Malloy unable to get him. He is safe. I imagine Smith is going to want to be on the move here with that base free. Smith took a really big primary lead there and doesn't end up going, though. That one's fouled, so 0-2 hole here for Ramirez. So 2 on, 2 outs, no balls, 2 strikes. Malloy's 0-2 pitch fouled into the screen. Wait and see if Smith tries to go with 2 strikes on Ramirez. Yes, he does. He's on the move, and Ramirez lines this one right at the third baseman, Rivas, and it's trapped for out number 3. Good contact from Ramirez, right in the wrong spot. And A's unable to come up with any runs, although there's 3 hits in that inning. Halfway through this ball game, it's been mostly all Rogues early on, 5-1, as they look to add on more. So halfway home in this one, second half of the game starts now. Guy's still on the mound. Bardo, the leadoff hitter for the Rogues, takes ball one. Bardo with an RBI in this game after a sacrifice fly out to right field and did reach on an error by Sanders. And this one's going to slip through the 5-6 hole for a leadoff base hit. 3 at-bats for Bardo 3 times, reaching successfully.
From Washington State University.
Yeah, correction on that one. He did not reach base because it was a sac fly, but did get on base with an error in the third, so that is twice for him.
One's down.
Frello shows bunt there. Sounds like it was a foul tip off the glove. Isaac Fernandez taking a little breather there, kind of deflected off of him. But looks to be okay to resume here.
Oh,
So that's 3 out of 5 innings for the Rogues, getting the leadoff base runner on as Geis misses with the ball, 1-1. One pitch misses outside for 2-1. Frello 0 for 2 today, flew out to right field and struck out in the third. Only 2 strikeouts here for Geis. That is a lower count than we've been used to seeing. That one goes foul. Count evens up 2-2. Geis already in the 80s for his pitch count, so good chance this will be his last inning of work. This one chopped weakly, and Geis going to just toss it over to first base. Good, smart play there for Geis and the A's to get the guaranteed out, but it does result in moving the Bardo over to second base. So with one down, Bardo at second, and the DH Marion digs in. Interesting to note, Cal Noonan warming up for the A's in the bullpen. He's a lefty. First pitch breaks in for strike one. Well, I thought I saw a strike call, but the scoreboard shows it's a ball. That's for sure a ball, so it's either 1-1 or 2-0. It is 1-1. So 1-1, big secondary lead for Bardo, but won't go anywhere. That's a strike, 1-2. One-two pitch from Geis outside. Count evens up 2-2. Marion got on base with a walk in the second inning and has grounded out to Perry at second base. Big secondary lead now, retreating, goes again, fouled, out of play. It's been very interesting to see these college ball players this year get very happy feet and dance around on the base pass when they're thinking about stealing or just trying to throw the pitcher off their game. Certainly don't see that in the major leagues. I know we're not watching Major League Baseball, but they can be very shifty out there and bouncing around. See it right now, Bardo jumping, doing it again and again and again and again. Now comes home. Tries to paint outside, doesn't get the call. Count goes full, 3-2. Bardo may think about going here on 3-2. Yes, he does. He's on the move. It's chopped into play. That's a base hit. Well, it's going to be an RBI base hit for Marion. Nice execution of a hit and run there for the Rogues. So yet another run comes in. 6-1 it is for the Rogues. They've now scored runs in 4 out of their 5 innings. That is certainly a recipe for success for them so far. 2 in the first, 2 in the third, 1 in the fourth, and 1 in the fifth. But that it remains to be seen. First pitch swung on and missed. New batter is Osborne, fielder's choice in the second, and walked and scored in the fourth. Oh, 1. This is sent out a mile to left field. Ramirez is on the run for it. It's way gone. Osborne just absolutely blasted that one out of here. Might have gone over the scoreboard. It was a no-doubter. He was taking his sweet time going down first base. And that is the second home run for the Rogues today. First from Severns. And this one, a mammoth bomb from Osborne. 2-run home run. And it has really blown this game open. 8-1 Rogues. And Coach White Featherston heading out to the mound. That should be the end of Geis's day, unable to get through this 5th inning. And looks like it's going to be Cal Noonan coming into this one. So we will get back to you after the end of warm-ups.
You're in trouble. You're in trouble.
Back with the bottom of the fifth. First pitch is a called strike to Smith, the left fielder. It is Cal Noonan that comes in to relief Zach Geis, the left-hander. Tries to loop in one outside, doesn't get the favor of the umpire. 1-1. So Geis's day is done for in a third as this one's ripped foul. Gets by Sanders, but just unable to keep it within the lines. 1-2. So taking a look at Geis's night, 4 in the third, 8 hits allowed, 8 runs, all of them earned, 2 strikeouts, 2 walks. One, two is lifted out to right field. It is high, and Rhea is gonna catch it just in fair ground for out number 2. So fly out to 2 outs. Noonan able to get his first batter out. And bottom of the lineup, second baseman Finney steps in for the third time of his night. 1 for 1 on the night. Single did score in the third. Also hit by pitch. This one's chopped to Sanders. It is a fair ball. Gets under his glove. And Ramirez trying to retrieve it. Very strange here. He's able to throw it into George Smith. I thought Finney could have gone for 2 there, but that sun is really in the eyes of the base runners as the 1-2. But anyways, that is 2-out base hit for the Rogues. Finney able to get on base with a single of his own, and batter number 7 of the inning, Rivas, the third baseman, digs in. So 2 batters faced for Noonan so far. 1 fly out, 1 base hit. First pitch misses, I do believe, upstairs. 1-0. 1-0 outside. Called strike. That looks to be a bit of a favorable call for Noonan, but does get the call. He certainly won't complain. Speaking of Noonan's season, 18 and a third innings pitched. This is his 8th appearance on the season, as his 1-1 is up in the top zone, strike 1 and 2. He is credited with 1 win on the year, also 1 save, so he has pitched in multiple situations, including 1 start last week. 2.45 ERA for him on 25 strikeouts to 11 Ks. And that's another one. Fernandez tags him out to ensure that it is the final out of this inning of us. Strikes out. They've been able to get the A's out of this inning, but Rhodes able to come up with 3 more runs, including the mammoth home run from Osborne, the catcher, and the Rogues are up big, 8-1, as the A's come up in the top of the 6th.
first baseman Ethan Wood.
Well, top of the 6th, A's down big in this one, 7 runs as a matter of fact. Ethan Wood coming up to bat. Malloy seeking his 6th inning of work. First pitch up and in for, or up and out, excuse me, for ball 1. Shadows really starting to creep in on the field here. Infield almost completely in grass. Outfield, there's strips of light and shadow, though, so that might be tricky to track. Ethan Wood sends this out to center field. He made a bad read. He went in on it, and then it's floated over his head, so that's going to be a leadoff double for Ethan Wood. Another extra base hit for him on the season.
Now batting right fielder Luke Reed.
Yeah, the center fielder, Morello, could have potentially caught that, but he ended up coming a bit in early on that fly ball, and it ended up hurting his chances. So runner at second, no down, or nobody out. Luke Reed fouls this one into the screen. Luke Reed 1 for 2 on the day. RBI single, that he is the only RBI on the day. Second half of the season been hitting a lot better for the A's. As this one's in the dirt, gets away from the catcher, but no threat for Ethan Wood to go to third on that. And after 1-1, that's going to prompt a timeout from the coach of the Rogues. Going to head to the mound and chat with Malloy. Looking down at the bullpen, it does look like somebody's warming up, but not so sure this is going to be Malloy's done. A lot of A's going to now. Certainly expect me to keep on pitching in this game. Oh, I can see what's happening. Coach Ethan Hunter's ramping up the bullpen right now in today's game. In the meantime, got a mound on visit. Now that's over. Isaac Fernandez on deck looking for a chance to hit, with Luke Reed looking for his chance to get an RBI hit yet again in this one. So interesting timing on that pause there during a 1-1 count, but Malloy's night will continue. Reed digs back in.
Not a thing. That's perfect.
1-1 in the dirt, bounces off of Reed actually, and Wood's going to be able to steal third. So Wood only 90 feet away now for Reed to cash him in. Most anything in play should get the job done. 2-1 pitch, chopped foul to the left of third base. Two-two pitch to Ree up the middle. That's going to be RBI single, and Ree has both of the RBI hits for the A's in this one. Able to get another one. It's 8-2 now for the A's. Still down by 6, and that's going to be the end of Malloy's night. So he'll head off the mound, hugs with teammates, solid outing for him, and we'll let you know who is the new pitcher coming in right after warm-ups. We're back after warm-ups. Hanley is the new pitcher left-hander for the Rogues. First pitch that Fernandez sees is popped high in the air to right field for out number 1. Free unable to tag up on that one, so he remains at
designated hitter.
Scott Mitchell, the DH, comes up now. Did reach base once on an error by Rivas. Got to second base, but unable to score. This is a pass ball, so Reed takes advantage and heads to second base. Calling the pitch, of course, is a ball, 1-0. Another ball here from Hanley, 2-0 to Mitchell. Taking a look at Malloy's day, he was able to complete 5 innings of work. 8 hits allowed, but only 2 earned runs, 3 strikeouts, no walks. Swing, foul tip. No, foul ball, just straight up. It is 2-1. Second baseman crashing in for a potential pickoff move. Not happening, though. Mitchell fouls this one into the parking lot, 2-2. Beer chance starting with the crowd here. Yeah, Scott Mitchell is the designated beer batter today. If he strikes out, it's going to be discounted beer for the next half inning. But he does. This pitch gets by the catcher. I think that's going to be a wild pitch. And Luke Reed's going to end up at third base as a result of it. Full count for Mitchell here. Base runner only 90 feet away. Chance for the A's to score 2 runs in this inning. Only able to come up with 1 in the 4th and 1 in the 6th. Mitchell hits this one to the shortstop. It is going to be another run. That's a sac ground out for Mitchell. He's out, 2 down in the inning, but yet another run comes in. You see Luke Reed. It is 8-3 A's. So with 2 down, bases are cleared. Brian Sanders chops this one to the shortstop. Nice backhand play, but the throw is offline. First baseman able to block it with his body to avoid Sanders getting 2. That is another base hit for Sanders. Back to back base hit. A's are keeping the pace with the Rogues in terms of hits here. That is 9 hits to the 9 hits of the Rogues, but scoreboard is a lot more lopsided for the A's. 8-3, still down by 5, and with little innings to work. Another pitch gets by the catcher. That looks to be second base for Sanders. Unsure if that was a wild pitch or pass ball. It's going to be a wild pitch. So tough start here for Hanley on the mound. Couple wild pitches, 1 pass ball, and base runners have been able to move around the bases. Luke Reed able to score on a pass ball and wild pitch, getting him from first to third, and then Scott Mitchell's sac ground out that we just saw. 2-0, favorable count for Perry, bottom of the lineup hitter for the A's. 0 for 2 so far on the day. Both his outs went to first base via a ground out and a line out. Pitch on the way to him, fouled into the screen. 2-1 now the count to Perry. Little quick check on Sanders at second. Comes home, pitch outside. 3-1, excuse me. Favorable count for Perry here to get Sanders in. Going to need to be a base hit with 2 down, though. 3-1 pitch. It's down low, I think. It looked to be right down the pipe, but it must have missed low. And that is ball 4. Perry takes his walk over to first. Runners now in first and second. 2 down. Top of the lineup, Tyson Miller up to bat. He's already 2 for 3 on the day. 5 hits in this series. And the catcher is going to take the time to chat with his pitcher briefly. Again, first outing for the Rogues. A bit of a tough start here for Hanley. Looking to get through this inning. Perhaps a favorable matchup for him, though. It's lefty on lefty, Tyson Miller versus Hanley. Taking a peek at second. Comes home, first pitch to Miller on the outside part of the plate. Doesn't get the call. 1-0. Pitch number 2 to Miller, upstairs, 2-0. Good hitters count here for Miller. And we've been seeing him shoot balls up the middle for most of this series, along with 1 hit to left, 1 hit to right. This time he shoots it to the screen, 2-1 on the foul ball. Getting to be that golden hour here in the Rogue Valley. Nice sunshine on the buildings up on that little plateau above in right center field. Lights starting to overtake the field, and ball 3 from Hanley.
Bases.
3-1 favorable count to Miller. Pitch taken down low and away for ball 4. And interesting opportunity here for the A's to get some more runs in with 2 down and make this game interesting.
The shortstop.
First time they've had the bases juiced in this game. And George Smith is certainly a batter you'd want up at the plate in this sort of situation. Smith able to get a single in his last at-bat. That was against Malloy. Now it takes the first pitch from Hanley for a strike. So Sanders at third, Perry at second, Miller at first. Miller a speedster, so potentially a long hit to the outfield, could score all 3. Pitch on the outside part of the plate, gets the strike call, 0-2. 0-2 hole here for Smith. Hanley looking for one more pitch to get out of this jam and keep the damage at 2 runs. The swing and a miss gets him. Smith down on 3 straight pitches, and that was an interesting opportunity for the A's to really get some runs and make the game interesting. But the bases wiped clean. 3 runners left on base. They do get 2 runs, though, in the top of the 6th and make the score 8-3.
Your
Bottom half of the sixth inning, Noonan remains on the mound. Severns leading things off. One of two Rogues to leave this ballpark. This one's hit pretty deep, but not deep enough as Ramirez is able to wrangle it in for out number one. One pitch, one out. A's take that rate. And now it'll be Ali, the right fielder, for his fourth at bat. Ali with a double in the first and the sac fly. RBI in the third. First pitch of his fourth at bat called strike. 0-1. Pitch number two misses low and outside, evens up 1-1. So after seeing the A's leave, bases loaded there. Looking into those stats, it is 8 runners left on base already through just 6 innings of work, and 6 of those 8 in scoring position. So still plaguing the A's in tonight's game is their ability to hit with runners in scoring position. Count has evened up 2-2 for Ali now. This one flied out to left field. Ramirez not having to move too much, but kind of changes path a little bit. That wind swirling, making it interesting, but able to get it for out number two. Back flyouts to Mikey Ramirez. Leads to Dardo, the first baseman, digging in, had a base hit in the last inning and scored a run. First pitch hit to Sanders at third, fields it cleanly. Throw is picked, scooped off the ground by Ethan Wood. Number 3. Quick 1-2-3 inning for the A's on defense. That's what they need if they want to, but they are running out of innings to do so. Still down by 5 as we move to the top of the 7th.
Okay.
Top of the 7th for the A's. Mikey Ramirez leading things off. Just caught 2 fly balls in the outfield in that inning. Now looking for his second base hit of the day. First pitch in the dirt for ball 1.
Still here.
1-0 hits Ramirez in the back on a leadoff base runner for the A's. not the way Ramirez would necessarily want it, getting drilled in the back, but he is on first base and a little bit of hope for the A's in the top of the seventh. So Ethan Wood digs in now with Ramirez at first. Lefty on lefty matchup. Hits this a ton, but very foul. 0-1. Oh, we mentioned Wood's big power abilities and slugging percentage earlier this week. Leads the team in slugging over 600. Hit a double in the last inning. And of course, the home run yesterday. Quick check over at first base from Hanley is unsuccessful. Ramirez is safe. 0-1-2. Wood taken outside, evens up at 1 apiece. Wood's a big guy, but actually was able to steal a base last inning too, going from second to third. And watches this one go upstairs 2-1. Lights are definitely overtaking the field now as we're losing that sunlight, but a nice kind of orange glow off to the north and west. Hanley's 2-1 is swung on, fouled to the same spot Wood fouled it to last time, and it is even at 2s. Luke Rhee on deck looking for a chance to make his mark yet again. He is responsible for 2 RBI hits. This one's chopped up the middle, could be 2. Flip from shortstop to the second baseman, not in time. Ethan Wood's going to get in with a fielder's choice. Mikey Ramirez out at second base, so 1 down and a runner still remaining at first base.
Fans, all in-game pitching changes this season brought to you by KTVL 10, your home for sports.
Coach coming on now to Hanley. Looks like his day is going to be done. So that is going to be, I think, officially a full inning of work for him as he came in with 1 out or none in the 6th inning. But anyways, new pitcher coming in looks to be righty now. And we'll be right back to the it is. We're back with Luke Ree, batter number 1 to the new pitcher. That's going to be Odin for the Rogues. They go lefty to righty, so now have the righty versus righty matchup. First pitch to Ree misses outside 1-0.
Hopefully both teams will cooperate for the 7th inning.
Your pitcher balls there.
Go out.
Swing and a miss. Ree chases that one outside and count evens up 1-1. Trying to take a peek at the pitching here for Odin, but might be another first appearance here. Do not see him listed on the stat sheet. I got confirmation it is his first outing. This pitch is hit towards the first baseman. Ree tries to dive around it, but unsuccessful. Hopefully he's okay. He's taken a bit of a beating tonight. Fell and slid into the fence in right field, but now that sliding attempt to be safe, but unsuccessful. So runner gets moved over to second. That's Ethan Wood. But now 2 down for the A's, and Isaac Fernandez digs in. So back-to-back pitchers here for the Rogues making their first appearance. And this one is yanked way outside for a ball. Fernandez 0 for 3, fly out to center, ground out to third, fly out to right. Swing and a miss, chases that one outside, 1-1. That's back-to-back batters that are chasing that outside pitch. Must be tantalizing for those hitters at the plate. Taking his time, coming set. Not bothering to look at Wood. This one's hit out of the ballpark. Foul. So 1 on, 2 out, 1-2 is the count to Isaac Fernandez, looking to extend this inning and get another run across for the A's. Odin, meanwhile, looking for that last punch-out pitch to end this inning. It won't be there, though, as that misses low and outside. So 2 on with 2 balls, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Odin looks in his pitch, comes set, now taking a peek at second, now home to Fernandez, chopped at, foul. A little bit of warm-up going on in the Athletics bullpen. We'll see if that's the end of Noonan's night as the bottom of the 7th rolls in, or if he continues on. 2-2 pitch to Fernandez, chopped to the second baseman, takes a bad hop on him off his chest, and Wood will hold up at third base. Fernandez reaches first base, and we'll see if that's going to be an E4 or a base hit, most likely E4, but that was a tough hop for the second baseman to deal with. So inning continues, runners on the corners for the A's, and Scott Mitchell coming up for his chance to get another RBI. Did so in last inning with a ground out to short, but that is a weak little flare to second base. Redemption for him, able to catch it for out Number 3, A's get a couple runners on base, but no runners come across to still down by 5 in a stretch in Medford Oregon for the bottom of the 7th. Well, I said we were going to stretch in the 7th inning, but 7th inning stretch did not happen, actually, with it being Military Appreciation Night. God Bless America was sang instead, and it sure was nice to have in that intermission. Cal Noonan still on the mound for the A's 0-1. He starts out to the batter Pirello, now 1-1. Pirello 0 for 3 on the night with a 3 different variation of outs, a fly out to right, a strikeout, and a ground out to the pitcher. Noonan gets behind in this one to Pirello, though, 2-1. Big gap there in the middle infield. They're pinching those pull points. And Noonan gets behind 3-1 now to Pirello, leadoff batter looking to be leadoff base runner here for the Rogues. They've done that a lot tonight and have capitalized, but looks like that's likely not going to be the case. Luke Rees on the run for it and has it for out number 1.
From UC,
H. Marion up for the 4th time today. Officially 0 for 2 on the day, though, as he walked in the 2nd inning. Walks do not count as plate appearances. So ground out to second base and an RBI single in the 5th. First pitch, 1-0. Pitch number 2, fouled. 1-1. It's Marion identical days so far as to yesterday. It was 1 for 2 with a run yesterday, 1 for 2 with a run today, as he watches that one in for a ball, 2-1. Noonan comes back with a strike on the perhaps outside and highish part of the zone. Count evens up 2-2.
Yep.
Ripped down the line, foul. Do it again on 2-2. Sort of in the twilight time right now. It looks on the picture of the camera that it might be a bit brighter than it truly is in person, but still decent amount of light out. Nice to see, as opposed from down in Fresno would be a lot darker at this time of day. 2-2 fouled now on the right side. So after the brief pause with the foul balls, Marion's been hitting a lot of those this at bat. Hoping to square one up. Noonan, on the other hand, looking to put him away. That's not going to happen on that pitch. Looks away in disgust as he knew he missed his pitch. 3-2 count has filled up. Full count payoff pitch gets it done. Fans him on the outside part of the plate. Throw around for out number 2.
Sending you first to the apartment.
Second strikeout of the day for Noonan came in the 5th inning in relief of Geis. Worked a quick 1-2-3 last inning and looking to do the same in this one, but starts out the new batter, Osborne, with a ball. Osborne really blew the top off this game with his exclamation point in the 5th inning. 2-run homer out to left field. He's got himself into a hitter's count as well at the moment. 2-0. Strike low and inside makes it 2-1. So we've seen 3 home runs in this series. Ethan Wood started it out last night, and the Rogues responsible for both tonight. Severance in the 1st, and the aforementioned Osborne home run in the 5th. Another strike call, 2-2. Swing and a miss from Osborne. Noonan, back-to-back strikeouts. It's done with this inning. That is back-to-back 1-2-3 innings for Noonan and the A's. Good work from him. But A's still down 5. Only 6 more outs for the Rogues to get to clinch this one. A's have a lot of work to do. They want to try and come back and spoil the party in Medford. Top of the 8th, crowd jovial after dancing to the YMCA song from the Village People, and Brian Sanders is retired on the first pitch of this inning via the ground ball to short. So quick, one pitch, one out. That was the 8th batter in the lineup. Now it's 9. Aiden Perry comes up for the 4th time of his day, 0 for 2 on a ground out and a line out, but walked his last time up. First pitch to him, outside, low, 1-0. Watches 1-0 turn into 1-1. One's on the board, 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Odin's still working on the mound, and he came way too inside. Harry gets nailed in the back, and he'll have first base on that one. That's at least the second hit by pitch for the A's. I do believe it's just only 2. Last inning, that would have been Mikey Ramirez. However, 3rd of the game. So 1 on, 1 out. Tyson Miller comes up. First pitch, ball. Miller 2 for 3 today. Couple of base knocks, stole a base, and walked his last time at the plate. Odin's 1-0, chopped at, foul. Quick little delay with getting that foul ball off the field. Now we're good to go. Odin is set. Taking a couple peeks at first. Now comes home. Pitch outside. 2-1. So 2-1 count here for Miller, looking to move Perry around the bases and move himself as he could fly around those base paths. 2-1 upstairs, 3-1.
Everyone strikes so bad.
Odin's 3-1 is chopped at, foul. 3-2. Count runs full. And on the scoreboard now, the top row shows 4, 3, 2, 1. 4 being the number of Tyson Miller. Count 3-2, and 1 out in the inning. Nice little sequence there. And this one's hit by Miller. It is hangs up just in time, but Aiden Perry able to get back into first base just in time to avoid the 9-3 double play. So nice contact with Miller, but unable to get it to land for an out. So 2 down, and George Smith comes up for his 5th at bat. Smith has a single today, but otherwise ground out, fly out, and strike out. First pitch taken for a ball. A little hesitation for the umpire's call since he takes his sweet time making those calls, but also had seen him make some calls on the outside part of the plate. Today, 1-0 swung at. It's going to get out of play. Takes a look over at first base. Perry able to slide in safely, though. Up the middle, it's going to be bobbled by the second baseman, not in time. That's an E4 against the Rogues. Smith is able to get to first, Perry on to second, so that is 2 on, 2 outs, runners at first and second. Mike Ramirez looking to make his mark at the plate. Just heard the attendance is just over 700 today, 712. Good number today. Yesterday, though, sold-out crowd was phenomenal, over 1,800 people at the ballpark. First pitch is by Ramirez, takes 1-0. Ramirez with a single and a walk in the game did score the A's first run. That was courtesy of his college teammate Luke Reed, cashing him in with an RBI single. Watches another ball, 2-0.
Yeah.
Swing and a miss from Ramirez gets the count to 2-1.
Oh,
2-1 from Odin. Breaks in for a ball. That sure looked to be a strike, but it's going to be 3-1. And the fans are somewhat letting him hear it. Not totally resounding, but definitely some not agreeing with that. I mean, even as an A's fan, I think you would have to agree that was likely a strike. But 3-1. Now the count, and Ramirez chops this one to third baseman off his glove, goes to the shortstop, not in time. That was almost going to be a 5-6-3 out there, but instead bases are juiced for the A's. Only thing going against them is 2 outs. That'll be ruled as a base hit for Mikey Ramirez. 10 hits on the day for the A's. They are out hitting the Rogues, but still down 5. Ethan Wood with a big chance to pull the gap closer here. First pitch inside, 1-0. And this is going to prompt a visit from the coach. We'll see if that's Odin's day done or if it's just going to be a quick visit to settle things down after 3 out of the last 4 batters got on base. There is some action in the bullpen for the Rogues, but it's looking like it's going to be more likely that Odin stays in this game to face Ethan Wood, unless they are stalling for time to get the new arm in the game. No siree, Odin still will be on the mound. They're going to stick with their guy. So they'll be still righty versus lefty, Ethan Wood, in a 1-0 count.
But I see drones.
Bases juice, 2 out, 1-0 count to Ethan Wood. Is chopped to the second baseman. It takes a bit of a high hop. He's still able to wrangle it, and that is the 3rd out of this inning. Yet more base runners left on base for the A's. I do believe that's going to make it 13 on the night, and they are still down 5. Only the 9th inning to work with to try and come back. In the meantime, looking to get
listen to
the
the
outs. They come back.
be meteorologist.
Well, another disappointing inning on offense for the A's as this one's popped up on the bunt, foul. Two times tonight, the A's have had bases loaded and don't end up scoring. There may have been runs scored prior to that, but when the bases loaded situation, no runs come across. This one's hit pretty well in left field, but it kind of dies down for Mikey Ramirez in out number one. That was Smith. That just flew out to Mikey Ramirez. And Travis Finney, the second baseman, will dig in with one out now. So that is 13 runners left on base for the A's tonight. They're out hitting the Rogues, but only just by one. And Rogues have more errors than the A's, 4-1 in that department. But most important thing is that scoreboard, and Rogues are beating him handily 8-3 late in this one. Noonan starts out. Finney with a ball, 1-0 pitch on the way, breaks in for a strike. Oh. If my math is correct, too, I believe close to 10 out of 13 of those base runners are runners in scoring position, which pours even more salt into the wounds for the A's here tonight. Swing and a miss gets Finney to 1-2. Noonan looking to finish him off and get his fourth strikeout on the night. And he gets him. Looks like the umpire just flung him up straight up, not even on the swing. Strikeout number 4 for Noonan, 2 down in the inning.
University of Hawaii.
Mark Fedro in for Rivas, and his first pitch of his at-bat in for a strike. Very interesting. I just thought to point out Fedro's out of University of Hawaii Hilo as he hits this one to Tyson Miller in left center field for out number 3.
For the Rogues,
Noonan.
There was Noonan
Tonight. That is back-to-back. Three of them in a row. Good stuff from him. Likely make a difference. The outcome of this game. A's up to the top of the ninth with their at bats and down by 5.
Oh.
Top of the ninth, only 3 outs for the Rogues to get for back-to-back wins against the A's and clinching the series win. Luke Reed leads things off. First pitch, called strike. Couple of things to report here. Holtz is the new pitcher on the mound to close things out, and Norton takes over defensive duties at first base for Bardo. This is hit to second base throw over to first in time.
Your attention, please. If you for beverage or food service, please make sure that you have it closed down. Now batting the pitcher, Isaac Fernandez.
So Isaac Fernandez stepping in with the Rogues, seeking 2 outs for the win. Taking a peek here at Holtz's stats. He's pitched in 5 games, so this will be appearance number 6, as that one is in for a strike. 4 2/3 inning pitch. Now it'll be 5 with 3 hits allowed, 2 earned runs, 4 runs total, and it all equates to a 3.55 ERA with 10 Ks to 5 walks. Swing and a miss there from Isaac Fernandez leads to 0-2. Fernandez is 0 for 4 on the day, but did reach base in the 7th on an error. 0-2 is swung on and missed. Definitive from Holtz there. 2 down, 1 to go.
Your attention, please. Pinch hitting for Fresno, number 23, Jacob Maynard.
Here's the one substitution for the A's. It's going to be Jacob Maynard in for Mitchell. He's in the DH spot. First pitch inside for a ball. One of the few players on the A's that are from the Valley. Plays his ball at La Sierra College. Used to play at West Hills in Coalinga. Takes that one in for a strike, 1-1. Holtz is 1-1 to Maynard, swinging a miss, blew it by him with some good heat there, and he's one strike away from a win for the Rogues.
Yeah.
Swing and a miss. That'll do it for this one. Rogues. Third base dugout pours out with happy Rogues players. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. 8-3 is the final at this one. As the Rogues get 8 runs on 9 hits, 4 errors, and the A's with 3 runs, 10 hits, and 4 errors. So, Rogues able to clinch the series up to the 25th inning of the season. As for the A's, they moved down to 22-8 on here. Still have yet to get a win against the road they are playing, excuse me. And that scoreboard I just mentioned it, 8-9-4 for the Rogues, 10-1 for the A's. That would indicate that the A's should have made this closer or even one, but a big sore spot for the A's up here in Medford is how many base runners they get not base and not passing in. That is 13 total runners left on base and around 10 in scoring position. And that has carried over from last night into tonight, and that is not going to be a win for the A's. So we'll head into tomorrow, 6:35 p.m. start time, same as the last 2 nights. A's hoping to lead Medford with their first road win of the year, and it's going to take them hitting a lot better and in general getting balls in play with runners in scoring position to get it done. Thank you very much for tuning in yet again for another A's game. Not go the A's way though. Final score 8-3. Rogues take it in Medford. We'll see you tomorrow.